Holy cow. Look at you guys. I'm trying to get stuff set up and you're subbing already. Where's my hat? There we go. Thank you very much, Kodiak Moonwolf Pudding. Thank you for the support. I really, really appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to get stuff working. I haven't even turned on my lights yet. I gotta go. Because I'm still setting up, that's why. That's why. There we go. Oh my god, my shirt looks like the damn sun. How's everyone doing? Alright, hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna try and adjust the camera a little bit. Alright, here we go. Let me take off my hat for a second. Actually, that looks okay. It might just be the shirt. There might not be anything I can do about it. I think everything else looks good. How you guys doing today? Scott the Geek, I can't get the video to work first time using Twitch. What browser are you using? Hey, Kid Cardi. Bello. Oh my god, another! Thank you very much, Kimbalina. Let me restart that timer. Set the timer for 15 minutes. Alright guys, my son just walked in. I gotta talk to him real quick. I will be back shortly. All right, everybody, I'm back. It doesn't use Flash anymore. So, Scott the Geek, nothing is working. Oh, so he can't hear me. He can't hear what I'm saying. All right. Let's see. So I need to go back into this real quick. Let me hit refresh. I'll close this. And I want to move these up. Actually, I want to move that to the bottom. And I'll move that down there too. Okay, that's the new lineup for today's show. No, Twitch works in lots of browsers. Oh, he can't hear me. All right, let's I have some stuff to do, so I'm gonna get started. Now, where is Audacity? I hope you can figure it out, Scott, though he can't hear me. Thanks, Love My Nest. Is it too, like, oh my god, what is with this? Is the shirt too much? It's just a regular orange shirt. It doesn't look like that in real life. The shirt makes me look cel-shaded. Let me find a hoodie or something to put on. I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. That'll have to do. No, I was looking at it and I was like, oh my god, because look at how bright it is. It's like where I'm wearing the sun or something. Okay. Lord Beasley likes the shirt. I like it too. It's just, it's a little much on the screen. Alright, so thank you very much to Kimbalina, Pudding, and Kodiak Moonwolf for your multiple months of support. I mean, between the three of them, that's 18, 19, 20, 21 months of support between the three of them. You guys are awesome, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and pause the music. The thing is on the door. I've just turned off my speakers, so why Discord is not getting my microphone. Test, test, test. Oh, Discord's not... Okay, I'll just shut that off then. I don't know why that's doing that. That's weird. And we've already got Audacity open. I heard you before, Kid Curdy. That's not happening. All right, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's go ahead and get started. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you... I screwed that up. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by Lowry Sweeney. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 and get exclusive rewards at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. All right, we'll name that patron. By the way, we just got This has been our best month for Patreon so far. We took a pretty big hit on the Patreon right around the time when they made all those changes, and luckily they changed back. But there were a bunch of people that left the Patreon because of those changes, and then they never came back, which is too bad. But I totally understand. They were, I talked to every single one of them, and they all said that they were unhappy with Patreon, not unhappy with me. So I was happy to hear that at least. All right, save again. SC 152. Save. Episode 152 of Switchcraft is brought to you by opseat.com. Head on over to opseat.com/ref/run-jump-stomp to directly support the show and get a fantastic gaming chair that can support you. I'm sitting in one right now, and it's great. Again, that's opseat.com/ref/run-jump-stomp. Oh, do I not have a command for OP seat? Well, that's weird. Here, I'll just copy link address. There, I'm the bot now, I guess. I'll have to make a command for that afterwards. All right, so that is sponsor and save. Yeah, I'm not sure what I did. Chair? I don't know. I'll have to look. Oh, I'm glad you like the Tom Winter music. I think it's fantastic. He does a great job with that. All right, let me look at the timer. 6 more minutes. I think I can do this part in 6 minutes. Just because I don't want the timer to go off in the middle of my talking. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop the timer, and then I'll just wear the hat for the rest of this segment, the hype hat. If I can find out how to shut off my timer. Timer. There we go. Cancel. All right. What's all the shrugging about? Oh, because you guys are trying to figure it out? Yeah, I have no idea. Okay. Switchcraft is recorded live 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and on Saturdays at whatever time I can get around to it. If you head on over to twitch.tv/runjumpstomp, you are going to run into all kinds of awesome people. People like Bravd, Kodiak Moonwolf, Snow Goes Ham, Vaxer, Captain Logan, Aerslia, Electrical Skateboard, Frank the Tank 620. I really should be working. I love that name. Kid Curdy. Kimbalina 66, Link 31 254, Lord Beasley, Love My Nest, Mikey B Playing, Pudding, Skeel Krieg, Stormtrooper 2K421, and TF Wagner, who just resubscribed in the middle of all that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I talk about Nintendo. You guys are awesome. And also, hello, a little shout out to the lurkers as well. You guys are great. I appreciate it. If you are looking for ways to get a hold of me, you can do so by sending me an email, runjumpstomp@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Twitter. Dagwood1981 sent me a message yesterday. They said, I wanted to say thank you for all the time that you put into making your podcast. They are shorter in length. However, I find them to be more informative than any other on iTunes. I wanted to get your take on maybe bringing 2 really good Transformer games to the Switch, War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. This seems to be the year of ports to Switch, and I'm really good with that, and these 2 games I think would be excellent to have on the go and online. What do you think? Sorry for the long message, but I really wanted to reach out and say thank you. Please keep it going. So thank you so much, Dagwood, for sending me that message. I really appreciate it. I haven't played either of those games, but I'm all for more games being on the Switch, more games that people want to come to the Switch, because that's one of the things with the previous incarnations. Like when we look at how the Wii U did, the Wii U got a lot of ports, and they were not all that great. And the Wii had the same problem. Like a lot of developers, they looked at the Wii and they said, you know what, we're going to pass on this. And then Nintendo sold like a buttload of those things. They sold a lot of Wiis. And developers looked at that and they said, okay, well, we're going to start porting stuff over to the Wii. And because of that, they thought that we were going to buy the games that we already bought. And nobody was really interested in that. And the reason is because the gameplay really wasn't going to be any different, except the controls would actually be worse. Because we had to do with the Wii remote and nunchuck. What's different this time around is that there is something that defines the Switch as very much different from the other consoles, while still giving us, for the most part, par controls. And that is that you can take the games with you when you go somewhere. And I think that that's a really, really important point as to why the games on the Switch that people have already bought are doing so well. Like we've heard from developers like Team Meat, who makes Super Meat Boy. They said that the Switch sales were really, really fantastic. When I spoke to, Chris Borusa, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. Sorry about that, Chris. But when I spoke to him and we were talking about his game, Darkest Dungeon, and I asked him, I said, how are the Switch numbers compared to what your expectations were? And this is a game that's already extremely popular and on a bunch of other platforms. And he said that the sales figures, of course, he couldn't give me real numbers, but he said the sales figures for the Switch version of Darkest Dungeon were way more than they expected. So a lot of that I attribute to the fact that you can now take the games with you, and it gives you a reason to repurchase games that you've already bought before. And I think that that's a really, really important point. So these two Transformers games, by the way, I'm a huge fan of Transformers. Even the movies, which everybody hates, I think, well, okay, the first movie, everybody hates the series, but I really liked the first movie. But I really like Transformers. I really do. And I don't think I ever bothered to take a look at the Cybertron games because I didn't have a system at the time that I could play them on. So having them would be brand new for me. But even if I had, there's plenty of games out there that I already own that I gladly would buy again if they were now on a portable platform that I could play just as easily on my couch as I could in the parking lot at my son's Taekwondo while he's training. I think it would be fantastic. So I'm all for more games, and thank you very much to Dagwood for reaching out and talking to me. I really appreciate it. He then followed up. He said, also, I got a heck of a deal on Walmart today. They also had RBI Baseball for $15, but these were too good to pass up. He got Puyo Puyo Tetris for $17 and Cave Story for $17, both in the box. So if you have a Walmart nearby, make sure that you pop in and check out the clearance bin because that's where he found those. So thanks again, Dagwood, for reaching out. Other ways that you can get a hold of me besides the email and Twitter, you can call and leave a voicemail at 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867. And you can, of course, join the Discord over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. And, of course, come by the Twitch stream sometime and talk to these awesome people that are watching me right now. You guys are awesome. Anyway, let's jump into the news. All right, now I was only going to wear that for that segment, but then in the middle of the segment, we had TF Wagner resubscribed, so I'm going to keep the hat on for another segment. Boy, it'd be awesome if I had to wear the hat the whole show. All right, let's see. That was feedback. And save. How much is Celeste? I don't know. I'm avoiding that game because I feel like it's a game that would make me really, really angry. Let's Let's see. We must make buttload a real unit of measurement. One buttload equals total Wii sales. That's not a bad idea. Can we find out what the total Wii sales were? No, it's not Dadwood. It's Dagwood. Like the sandwich. Not Dadwood. Let's see. What else? Has anyone played A Hat in Time? Torn coughing up $30 on the PS4. Wish it came to the Switch. I don't know. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't played it at all. Captain Logan was wondering where his Zelda song was. The change in music was jolting. Do you mean the Tom Winter stuff at the end? I'm sorry if I surprised you. I'm very sorry. All right, scrolling down. The Switch will have 3 buttloads at the end if it's cycled right. Well, I mean, you know, Kid Curdy, you make a good point, is that if they do the cycle right, because what's his name? Not Mr. Koizuma, the CEO of Nintendo. What the heck is his name? Shoot. His name is just escaping me. Anyway, the current CEO said that they expect that the Switch will be a 7 to 10 year cycle. Yeah, it's OP Seat. Why, did I type it wrong? Yeah, that's the right thing, man. Kodiak's got it. Thanks for making that command, Kodiak. You're awesome. All right. Oh, Scott, are you still here? Is it working? All right, let's save. I already saved. Okay. Let's load up the next thing. All right. Well, last episode, I need to start over. Well, last episode, I told you guys that Nintendo is now allowing us to review games on their site. And almost right after I finished recording, they actually took that down. They took away the ability to record. And it was not record, but review. And they replaced what they had before with this message. It said, customer reviews have been taken offline as we evaluate this feature and its functionality. We currently have no estimated date on when an update will be provided. We appreciate the positive response and thank the reviewers who provided such thoughtful commentary on games. All right, so why would Nintendo bring it up only to bring it back down? And my guess is that there's things that they can see as the owners of a website that nobody else can see. And my guess is that some website like 4chan or somebody like that decided to attack Nintendo's reviews, and as a prank or something. And I don't know why Nintendo didn't plan for this or have this worked out ahead of time, because anytime that you allow people to write something on the internet and hide behind their anonymity, then you are opening up the floodgates for horrible people to be horrible. That's just the way that the internet works. And I know that Nintendo, whenever we say anything about Nintendo and online, they are always kind of like, I don't know, like somebody's, I don't want to be ageist, but this is a way to say it. Somebody's grandpa bumbling around in the dark can't figure out which button, like they're asking, where's the any button? That kind of thing. That's how Nintendo kind of is when it comes to online. And I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that they didn't see something coming. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe this is not in response to them getting trolled, but that's just what my gut feeling says. My gut feeling says that they were probably getting trolled, and then that's why they decided to pull it down. Now, will they bring it back in the future? I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that they will have something in place to protect from that. But I think what they really need to make sure is that they can get good data without it getting corrupted by jerks being who they are. You know what I mean? So hopefully they bring it back sooner rather than later, because I think it's really good for customers to be able to say, yes, this is a great game, and no, this is not a great game, and then surface that information in the eShop so that when I've grabbed my Switch and I want to look for something new to play, I can say, show me 5-star titles that are between $10.99 and $14.99, or probably $9.99 and $14.99 would be better. Show me those titles in these 3 genres, and then I can go through and say, all right, these are the ones I'm going to get. That's awesome. But if, jerks are gaming the system, then that's really going to affect how useful it is for the buyers. So I think Nintendo certainly did the responsible thing, if this is what happened, by taking it down. Just keep the star ratings with no comments. Well, while that may be true, maybe somebody found a way around only being able to rate something once. So they could just keep making these accounts. Like, I know very little about programming, just enough to, build a calculator on my phone or something. If I knew just a little bit more, I bet you I could write like a Python script that would make a new account, send a 1-star review, delete that account, make another account, send a 1-star review, and just keep doing that. And Nintendo needs a way to verify that these are things that are purchased. Like, oh man, one of the things that you could look at, and I can't remember which movie site it is, but there are some movie sites that the ratings do not check if you've seen the movie or not. And because of that, like, you'll look at movies that aren't out yet, that are about to come out, and they'll be like 5 stars or 1 star. And that's not good data. That's garbage. That's useless. Nobody wants that. So Nintendo needs a way to tie it to your Nintendo ID or something. I'm not sure. I would assume that they did, but who knows? All right, let's go to the next story. So with the update to Super Mario Odyssey that brought us Luigi's Balloon World, there has been some data mining that indicates that we're probably likely to get DLC down the road. And that DLC is uncovered because there's new costumes. Now, I'm not going to talk about what costumes were revealed. If you want to see which costumes were revealed, then click on the link in the show notes so that you can see that list. But I'm not going to talk about it on here. I don't know how people feel about seeing the costumes as spoilers or not, but I just don't want to spoil something for somebody. And if you want to know, just click on the link and you can see all of the different things. Now, I don't think that they have graphics with them, just like the names. So I'm just scrolling through. Yeah, it's just the names and a description. So they'll have a hat name and then a hat description that goes along with it, which is kind of cool. Now, just because we see these doesn't mean that we're definitely going to get them. That's not something that you can guarantee just based on something that's been data mined. A lot of times developers will make something and then they'll scrap it because maybe they didn't have room for it, or maybe they changed their mind and wanted to go with something else, and then they just forgot and left the old code in. I mean, that's definitely something that's possible. So, take the data mining stuff with a grain of salt. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, but I really am looking forward to getting DLC for Super Mario Odyssey. Kid Curdy wants to know, where's the link for the show notes? The way that I do show notes with this new provider means I don't have show notes for everybody else ahead of time, but it means that the show notes will look much better in the actual show when I'm done making it. So I don't have those. But what I can do is what I should be doing all along, in linking that directly to you guys while I'm talking about it, because I forgot. So sorry about that. Anyway, I'm curious, are you guys excited for the idea of Super Mario DLC? I personally would gladly shell out more money for more worlds. But if these are outfits that you can find in the old worlds, or you can just go to a store and buy with coins, then I'm much less interested in it. If this doesn't actually come with worlds, then I'm hands off. I'm not interested. Let's see, Scott the Geek. I have no idea if you have to be registered, but my guess is something happened that they didn't plan for, so they took it down. I'm already okay with the game has landed. I'd play new content, but after being Bowser, it's hard to just be Mario. Yeah. You should pick up Super Mario. It's awesome. But I know that you said before that you have a lot of stuff to play. All right, let's see. What's next? Here we go. This is interesting. Whoops, I didn't mean to click that. It's in Japanese. All right, here's the next link, you guys. Good luck with that one, unless you speak Japanese. Let's see. Where was it? All right. So, on March 28th, Nintendo is shutting down the Street Pass relay stations in Japan. So, what is a Street Pass relay station? Well, for those of you that didn't have a 3DS, Street Pass was this thing where if you came within a certain like Wi-Fi distance of another 3DS while you were out and about, and you had the Wi-Fi turned on, the 3DSs would exchange information like this person has played this game, and they would trade puzzle pieces, and they would send over little tiny bits of information that then you could use in what are called the Street Pass games. And you could also use in other games as well sometimes. And it's a really cool feature. Now, if you don't live in Japan, like me, it's not really a useful feature, especially if you live in a rural area like I do. I live out in the middle of nowhere. I live in the middle of nowhere. And the only way that I ever got Street Pass stuff is through my wife's 3DS, my son's 3DS, and going to Best Buy, because a local Best Buy, which is still like 15 minutes away, has a Street Pass relay. So what does a Street Pass relay do? It basically collects Street Passes from anybody that goes by and then relays that to other Street Pass relays, so that if you're in an area like me where people are really, really spread out and far away from each other, you can still get those Street Pass things, and it's kind of cool. You know, I really liked it. Now, the fact that they're shutting it down doesn't mean that Street Pass will no longer work, but if you're in an area where you don't have a lot of contact with other people who have 3DSs, then the Street Pass relays were really your only way to actually use those features. And the fact that they're shutting them down, I think that that's a signal that Nintendo is happy with what's going on with the Switch. And even though they have said that, oh, the 3DS is going nowhere, we're doing so well, you have to remember the 3DS came out 7 years ago, and for a handheld console, 7 years is actually a pretty long lifespan. I know that Mr. Kimishima said that they expect that the Switch will have a 7 to 10 year lifespan, but that's pretty long. And for Nintendo to finally say, I think that we're done with the 3DS is great. Now, I don't think that they'll ever say it, but what happened in the past is what Nintendo did with the Game Boy. When Nintendo first brought out the Nintendo DS, they did exactly the same thing. They said, this is a third pillar of our platform. So we have our home console, we have the Game Boy, and we now have the Nintendo DS. And that is the third pillar. And the Game Boy isn't going anywhere. And then the Nintendo DS took off like crazy because it was a fantastic system. And because it sold so well, Nintendo said, all right, we can now drop the Game Boy. So they never made an announcement. They just stopped supporting it. They just stopped making games for it. And that's basically what's going to happen with the 3DS as well. At least I think so. And I think that this is a good indicator of that, the fact that they're shutting down the Street Pass relays in Japan. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there who are very, very rabid 3DS fans. And I will tell you this. I'm a huge fan of the 3DS, but since playing the Switch, I can't go back to that terrible screen. Like, when I was playing it before, it seemed fine. But the more that I play on the Switch, the less that I want to touch that 240p screen, because it's really, really bad. All right. So, Stormtrooper 2K421 says, take it to conventions or Disneyland and you'll get lots and lots of street passes. That's awesome. Scott the Geek says, there is indeed a lot of overlap between Switch and 3DS, but Switch doesn't fully fill the same niche as the 3DS, so there will be problems having the 3DS completely go away, and I'm not even a 3DS owner. You know what, Scott? You make a good point. The 3DS is very much marketed towards kids. It's cheaper, and having the I guess how do I want to say this? Having the cheaper version right now, if they get rid of it, then they don't have something to get the kids into the market. But what you have to remember is there are already 60 million 3DSs out there. And chances are, if you are somebody who wanted a 3DS, then you're probably somebody who has already bought a 3DS. And because of that, there's not a lot of new customers for the 3DS. This is the same thing that Apple kind of runs into with the iPad. The iPad's a fantastic device. I use mine every single day. Every single day I use the iPad, both for work and just for browsing the internet at home or for drawing things for the Patreon. But I use that all the time, and it's a fantastic device. But Apple kind of hit a saturation point where it turns out that the people who wanted a tablet have bought one. And the only way to sell more tablets is to sell it to those people who already bought them. And that's why Nintendo does things like they update the 3DS with different outsides, so collectors will buy them. Or they will make a slight change to the 3DS and now call it the 2DS. They take out the 3D, which most people really didn't use. So while I agree that it fills a niche that Nintendo needs to, I think it's a niche where most people who want them have already picked them up. There we go. I love input from you guys. Kid Curdy, my iPad is like my phone. Oh yeah, Kid Curdy is right. The backlog on the 3DS is amazing. So if you don't have a 3DS, I wouldn't recommend buying one. I would get a 2DS. Don't get one with the 3D because who cares? It's really not worth it. Like, it's a cool, like, whoa, that's neat, but it wears off pretty quickly. But I highly recommend you have one of the 3DS or 2DS systems so that you can play some of these other older games because they're awesome. Let's see, that's 3DS. Save. I need to see how far we are already because I think that this is going to be a longer show. So let me just select all my tracks and line them up so I can see we're already at 20 minutes. All right, let me look at what we got left. Okay, I can do that. All right, now a lot of people got really excited. Hold on. All right, to TF Wagner, Kimbalina66, Pudding, and Kodiak Moonwolf, thank you guys for your support. You're awesome. Hats off to you. But I'm going to take this off. I forgot that I was wearing it. Link 31254 thinks the 3D feature is amazing. I never shut it off. I shut it off because it conserves battery myself. Actually, Vaxer, the last few episodes have been, right about 25 minutes. All right, let me do the next. Okay. So I read the headline of the next story, and I got really really excited. It said the Minecraft team on adding motion aiming to Nintendo Switch, and I was like really excited for that because I think Minecraft is a fantastic game, and I I got it for the Switch, but I never play it on the Switch, and the reason is because I just can't stand the controls. And it's the controls are, I mean, they're like a first person shooter, but I really don't like most first person shooters without motion controls or aim assist. And Minecraft really doesn't, I don't, at least I don't think it has very good aim assist. And when you're playing on a controller, it can be pretty frustrating, I feel like. My son loves it on controller. He absolutely loves it on controller. And for me, I'm just not a fan. But if they added motion controls for aiming, that would change my mind. Like, I would play it a lot more. I absolutely love how motion controls work for aiming in Splatoon 2 or in Breath of the Wild. And I haven't played the Doom update that has motion controls, but I would really, I think it's probably much better with the motion controls on. I've played first-person shooters with motion controls on my PC, and it's fantastic using the Steam controller. So I got really excited when I saw this headline, but the headline's kind of a non-starter. If you actually watch the conversation, because it was a clip from a Twitch broadcast, and somebody said, "Have you considered adding motion controls to the Switch?" And they said, "Well, that's a great suggestion. As a Switch owner, I really love motion controls in games like Splatoon and so on. But that's not something that we're working on right now, but maybe someday in the future." So I read the headline and assumed, man, we're going to be getting motion controls, but it doesn't look like we are anytime soon. And that's just too bad, because I think that a lot of people are like me, who would probably play Minecraft more if it had motion controls. Save. Add yourself on the friend code list, RJS. I'm on the friend code list. I'm the first person on the friend code list. See you later, Kid Curdy. I can't wait to try Doom with motion controls. That was a key factor that interfered with me being good at my first stab at it. Oh, okay. So Jade Silk hosted the channel. Hey, everybody from Jade's channel, thank you very much for the host, Jade. If you guys don't follow Jade, you absolutely should. She is really, really cool. Very chill streamer. Swears a little bit more than I do, but she is somebody that I watch, and she's really cool. So make sure that you guys just click on that link that the bot just said, and make sure that you give her a follow, because she's awesome. And give her a high five next time you see her streaming, because she's cool. Scott the Geek says, I'm not a dual analog first-person shooter player. I come from PC mouse and keyboard days. You know, Scott the Geek, I also come from PC days, but I'm actually probably before you. My first-person shooter days started out when I played Doom on the original, like on old school computers, and you use the arrow keys to move and look around. And I think it was either the control button or the shift button or the Z button to shoot. And that's how I played. And then when not Unreal, Quake. When Quake came out, I bought Quake for my computer, and they wanted me to use WASD and the mouse, and I was like, what is this nonsense? And I returned the game because I thought, there's no way I can't play this game with a mouse. Who plays a shooter with a mouse? So anyway, you can find ways to change, but I personally like shooters with a mouse and keyboard myself, or with motion control. All right. We are just about done. Okay. All right, what have I been playing since the last time that I recorded? I finally finished the Final Station, no pun intended. Final Station is this really interesting dystopian world where you are a train conductor and you are transporting people between locations, between stations, if you will. And while you're transporting people between stations, you have to deal with managing their health, managing their hunger. You have to manage the different parts of the train to make sure that it's working okay. You have to communicate with other people who are driving trains, not real people, but like, in the game. And you have to craft stuff, and then you get to the station and you have to scavenge and find stuff and fight zombies and get the stuff that you need for crafting, and then eventually find a code in order to unlock the blockers so that you can drive the train to the next station. It's a really, really cool gameplay loop. And I will say this, and this is like a mini review. If you want to watch the full review, follow the link in the show notes over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/runjumpstomp, and you can watch the full review. It's like 15 minutes long. I'm not going to talk that long on it here, but I will say this. They have absolutely succeeded in making a world that feels real, like a living, breathing place, and it's really, really bleak. Like, I compare it to the Walking Dead TV show. Extremely bleak place that I was so happy to be able to leave when I wanted to. But it was really, really fun, and I enjoyed playing it a whole bunch. I will tell you this, that it plays a lot better with the Pro Controller than it does with the Joy-Cons. It's playable with the Joy-Cons, but the Pro Controller is much better just because of the location of that other stick. So that's my recommendation to you guys. I recommend it as a game. It's really fun indie game. It's pretty short, not super long. I think probably took me 5 hours to beat it or something like that. And there's even DLC where you play a guy with a baseball bat and a muscle car. So that is the Final Station. I really had fun with it, and if you want to know the full review, just make sure that you click on the link in the show notes or go to my YouTube channel. Speaking of my YouTube channel, I also recently finished my NES archive video for Wild Gunman. So I'm going through all of the games that were released on the Nintendo Entertainment System in North America and making a video about every single one. And it's a long project. It's going to take me a while, but I just finished and released the Wild Gunman one. So make sure that you check that out as well. File. Save. Thanks, Snow. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Nerd Nest. High five. We'll go with, what the heck is that? What was I talking about? YouTube, I guess. All right, let's do the lightning round now, guys. Let me just find that real quick. All right. 2 quick stories for the lightning round. The first one is that Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch has a demo available on the eShop right now. So grab your Switch, start downloading it now. I am not somebody who was excited at all for the new Kirby game because I'm not really a fan of the Kirby games. Not that I think they're bad, they're just not for me. But I love that Nintendo put out a demo because I'm going to be downloading it and I hope that it convinces me to play. I really do. That tells me that Nintendo is confident about what they have here. I always like it when companies put out a demo for a game. It shows that they believe that they've got a hit on their hands because they think that it's going to convince more people to play then it will convince them not to. So make sure that you check out that demo. Second story in the lightning round is that Amazon Spain listing is suggesting that Mario Tennis Aces is going to be coming out in June. I don't know if it's true or not. I was actually hoping for it to be a little bit sooner, but I can live with June. And I am really looking forward to Mario Tennis Aces. That's something I'm probably going to pre-order at some point sometime soon. All right, we'll name that lightning round. Well, everyone, that's all the time that we have for today. If there's a story that I missed or a topic that you would like discussed, please let me know at one of the ways that I mentioned at the top of the show. If you're looking for ways to support the show, you can go to runjumpstomp.com/support. By the way, I just want to talk about the website for just a little bit. It's going to be switching over soon. Nobody in the podcast will see anything different, but people who go to runjumpstomp.com right now, they see the old site. And the new site looks much better, I think. The new site has much better features. Anyway, that's going to be switching over as soon as I have time to change the DNS server and all that stuff. So again, runjumpstomp.com for all of your Switchcraft needs. But you can just follow the link to the new site, which will be updating as soon as I can get it to happen. Anyway, I'm out of here. Make sure that you guys stop by Tom Winter and Noteblock and check out their music. Thank you to them for letting me use it on the show. I will see you guys on Saturday. Bye-bye. We'll call that outro.